Hi, my name is Camila Delgado and I'm going to tell you about the cell and the organelles. First of all, the cell is the basic structure and functional unit of the all living being. This is our complex and healthy organism in addition to having the ability to replace, obtain energy, and interact with the environment. All cells share in the three basic structural characteristics: plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material (DNA). The eukaryote cell is divided into two types, animal and plant, and I'm going to explain the organelles. To begin, and the organelle is a plant structure as the whole cell is structured by a membrane and a specific function. Of the three characteristics that all cells share, we start the plasma membrane. It is membrane found in the outside to separate the interior and the cell from the outside environment. This is considered a lipid that semi-impermanent. The plasma membrane regulates the transport of materials entering and exit the cell. A nucleus is defined as the double membrane eukaryote cell organelle that contains the genetic materials, DNA. This is cytoplasm, the fluid in the field in the cells in the reference of the cytoplasm. It encompasses the cytosol in the filament, ions, proteins, and macromolecular structure, and also other organelles suspended in the cytosol. The eukaryote cell divides into cell, plant cell, and animal cell. Next, I will visit the different organelles of the two cells. First, the extract of organelles. Endoplasmatic reticulum is the maze of channels that bases a nuclear membrane. It is divided into two. Rough endoplasmatic is the characteristic by Hymen is the mode is membrane covered at the ribosomes, where at the development and synthesis should endoplasmatic reticulum is a log ribosome, here as where lipids are assembled, some of which are used to put in the cell membranes. In a muscular cell store a calcium ions. Vesicles, they are tiny sac-like organelles made of membrane. They are used for transport and release the molecules into or outside the cell. Peroxisomes, they are typically vesicles. They are contain enzymes that break down molecules. Golden apparatus is the specialized and connected sacs. It modifies and the molecules like proteins back of them and send at the other part of the cell at the outside. Vacuoles, they are similar to the vesicles but more extensive. They are really big. In the plant cell, there is big vacuole that fill itself with water. Mitochondria is the powerhouse in the cell, transport the carbohydrate molecules in the ATP, which the which is the molecular usage of energy for all reactors at the cell. Chloroplasts, they are found of plant cells and the some bacteria in the chart the and organelle with or membrane. Ribosomes, they are responsible of protein synthesis and they are found in the root endoplasmic reticulum. Cytoskeleton, network of protein fragments to support and shape the cell, and for N, the centrolores, structure formed by a set of microbules arranged as a cylinder. Its function is the organize the cytoskeleton during the division. And this is end.
Have a karyotic cell. Their characteristics are they have a nucleus and other organelles enclosed by a membrane. Categories of eukaryotic cells: animals, plants, fungi, and protists. Diameter ranging from 10 to 100 micrometers. The difference we have here is that the eukaryotic is supposed to be bigger than the prokaryotic. Other difference is that eukaryotic has a nucleus and organelles, thing that prokaryotic cell doesn't have. That's all on my part. I hope you like it. Thank you for listening and watching.
Hello, my name is Ariana Samantha Rocha Torres, and I can present History of the Microscope and Cell Theory. Seneca discovers a transparent spherical container filled with water. It was possible, see small figures. Hightam, Book of Optics, in which light is related to vision and the formation of images and the functioning of lens in described. Hans and Zacharias Jensen attribute the microscope invention and science they were not the only ones working with lenses at the time. And Robert Hooke, designing a microscope made up of three lenses, magnified samples between 20 to 50 their actual size. Observe a cell. Anton van Leeuwenhoek, designing a simple microscope. In one lens magnify objects to 200 and 300 times to original size, the first one to observe living cells. Matthias Schleider observed that all vegetable tissues are made of cells. Theodor Swan observed that all animal tissues are cells. Rudolf Virchow proved that all cells come from a previous cells. Now, the structure of the microscope is the base, is the bottom part provides stability. Arm, the intermediary piece that connects all parts. Stage is the surface on which the sample is placed. Stage clips, clamps that hold the sample a secure position. Corresponding knob, adjust the vertical position by wide displacements. Fine focusing knob, fine adjustment the vertical position by small and precise. Nose, nose piece or turret. This is a rotating portion with objective lenses. Now, the cell theory. 1. All living things are made up of cells. 2. The cell is the physiological unit of every living being. 3. All cells come from another pre-existing and similar cell. 4. The cells containing DNA for all its morphological and physiological characteristics, which will be passed on to these offspring cells. 5. We can add a 15th postulate. The disease begins in the cell. Now, we can see the different forms of cell transplantation. Cell transplantation. The cell keeps its cell alive and exchanges materials with its environment and communicates with other cells through the membrane, thanks to two types of transport, passive and active. In the passive transport, the cells do not waste energy, ATP. The simple diffusion, the molecules cross the lipid barrier, gases such as carbon dioxide and oxygen pass through it freely. Facile diffusion, the passage of molecules depends on the presence of the membrane of integral proteins that allow this passage. These proteins can form channels of transport complexes. The osmosis is the phenomenon of diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane that separates two solutions with different concentration of solute. Now, the active transport is the cell waste energy ATP and is in endocytosis divided to phagocytosis and and pinocytosis and finally la exocytosis.
Hello, my name is Luis, and today I want to talk about my topics the levels of organization and homeostasis. The level of organization. Each body structure is made up of smaller structures, which in turn are made up of even smaller components. Chemicals make up all the materials found in the human body. They contain microbes combining into structures known as molecules. Many molecules can combine into macromolecules. These macromolecules in turn form organelles, which help complete the ended function of a cell, the basic unit of both structure and function in the human body. Cells are microscopic structures that can vary in size, shape, and function. Cells group together to form tissues, which in turn groups together to form organs. Groups of organs that function similarly form organ systems, which then combine to form an organism. The homeostasis. The homeostasis is a property of organisms that consists of their capacity to maintain a stable internal condition, compensating for changes in their environment through the regulated exchange of matter and energy with the exterior. The homeostasis have a negative feedback. An example for that is body temperature, blood pressure, and glucose concentration in blood. The hallmark in the image of a negative feedback loop is that it counteracts a change, bringing the value for a parameter, such as temperature or blood sugar, back towards its set point. In contrast to negative feedback loops, positive feedback loops amplify their initiating stimuli. In other words, they move the system away from its starting state. And this is all for me. I hope you like it. Thank you for your attention.
Hello guys, my name is Eduardo and I will cover these topics that you can see in the screen. Pregnancy, addictions, and obesity. I hope you like it. As we can see in the image, pregnancy is a very important part for the development of new individuals, and despite this, everything begins in a very simple way, until the size of the fetus increases over the months. During this process, the individual is fed through the umbilical cord that connects it directly to the placenta and allows it to develop properly. On the other hand, we have addictions, which are mainly defined as dependence on substances or activities that are harmful to health, and that can cause great problems in the long term. Finally, we have the issue of obesity, whose main causes are mainly excessive food intake, as well as diseases and external problems. It is also important to mention that the combination of these factors results in something extremely dangerous to health in general, especially if this type of problem occurs during pregnancy, since it can seriously harm both the mother and the baby. In conclusion, it is very important to learn to avoid this type of habit in order to have good health in all the areas that this entails.